final score, Wrexham 1, Derby County 1, and, well, probably should have won that, in all honesty. Maybe you could argue we didn't make enough clear-cut chances to win it, but nonetheless, it took an absolutely superb goal to deny us. Having said that, we did have a bit of luck early on in the match, it's got to be said. So we wanted to build on an excellent week. Full rotation brings us a win in the Carabao Cup after a brilliant performance at Norwich. But although you want to build on that, elements of that were never going to happen. I mean, the thing that made us look so good at Norwich was our pressing against a side that were committed to passing out from the back and didn't have a great deal of purpose in doing so. Well, Derby were never going to dwell on the ball that long at the back, partly because that's not really their style, but also because they would have seen what we did and known that would have been crazy. So they set themselves up to make sure the ball wasn't stuck at the back with us putting pressure on them, and as a result we had to find other ways to dominate. But something that certainly was present throughout all three games was the fact that our rest defence looked a lot better. I thought we didn't look stretched on the transition generally. Only really got done once on the transition, whereas early in the season it was a real problem, wasn't it? And okay, the goal is quick from back to front, but it's more a traditional route one goal. I'm not trying to say it's in any pejorative sense. It's perfectly legitimate to play long ball forwards, to get the ball to your strikers, and it was a wonderful, wonderful goal. Frustrating for Wrexham that Derby didn't create all that much, but managed to have a moment of real class to snatch a point. So, like I said, we started off riding our luck. Straight from the kickoff, ball played back to the keeper, Zetterstrom. He knocks it long. Wrexham let it bounce, which is a problem because it bounces deep into the penalty area. Awkward one for Cleworth, who has to get his head on it and can only try and head it as far as he can. It drops perfectly for Adjamang, about 15 yards out, and it's a glorious opportunity. His first start for the club, class signing, but injuries have spoiled the start of the season for him, and he puts it wide. It's a great opportunity. He tries to just place the volley across a Conquo, puts it well wide. It's a heck of an opportunity. And then we ride our luck again in the 7th minute. Lewis O'Brien stretching, lunges in and takes Ibu Adams, and at the ankle height, studs up, goes through him. Adams' ankle bends alarmingly. The referee's right there on top of it and gives a yellow. It's a red, I'm afraid. I don't for a second think O'Brien is trying to do anything but lunge to win the ball. I don't think he's trying to hurt Adams at all, but it's a red card. It's a mistimed tackle and he's gone through him. VAR would, I think, certainly have upgraded it, but the ref's given that yellow. Adams is lucky not to be hurt. He's lucky actually later in the game. I'll get to that later on because he also needs to be sent off in the second half. But anyway, as the game settles down, Derby had a good start, putting us under pressure. Lots of possession in our half, but we're patient, and when the game, like I said, starts to settle down, we're looking the more likely side. A really nice move in the 11th minute nearly comes to fruition. Moore laying the ball off to the left, Longman feeding it inside, Sheaf getting off a powerful shot from about 20-25 yards. It's a bit too straight, but Zetterstrom doesn't really deal with it all that well above his head. He fumbles it downwards. Moore can't quite get there before Zetterstrom drops on it and smothers, although to be fair, Moore was flagged offside. But it was a good strike by Sheaf, and it gets Wrexham going, and we continue to look tidy on the ball and work the ball through Derby. A really nice move on a transition next, mind. Kabore again, a constant threat. He gets down the right, sweeps across in, and Sanderson does ever so well. He has a proper duel of Kiefer Moore. He does so well to just jump and just nick the ball away with his head as Moore is looking to plant a header in from close range. Little point to note for later on is O'Brien's movements. So have a look back at the replays and you'll see O'Brien makes a great run across Moore from left to right to hit the near post area. Now Kabore misses him out on this occasion and looks for Moore, but that movement will lead to Wrexham's excellent goal. Within moments, Wrexham have another opportunity because the ball's kept in. Windass receives the ball, feeds it out to Gabore again. This time he drives it in flat. It takes a deflection and flies across the face of the goal to Longman, who has a tight angle. I think he's more just trying to smash it in with power than necessarily shoot. But it's a horrible one. And this time Zetterstrom does very well with his reflexes, throws his hand up, and manages to push the ball away to safety with a sharp reflex save. But it's Wrexham who are asking the questions. A lovely piece of play by Lewis Brunt starts off a nice move. He had great interception in the Derby half, and he feeds it quickly into Dobson, who brilliantly beats his man, goes on a run right down the middle of the pitch, which is only ended in the D when Ibu Adams slides in from behind and fouls him. It's a automatic no-brainer yellow card. Windass with the chance from the free kick, but he doesn't get on top of it properly and he puts it over the bar. But it's Derby who have the last chance of the half. Adjamang again, doing really well to spin Hyam, left-hand side, well, left of centre on the edge of a crowded penalty area. He drives into the goal mouth. Cleworth does ever so well to stick with him and block his sight of goal all the way through. Adjamang manages to persevere and muscles his way into the 6-yard box. Cleworth sticks to him like glue. Ultimately, Adjamang has to turn and try and play it back out, and Wrexham are able to survive a moment of real danger. The second half, Wrexham started really quickly, looking to get at Derby again. Gabore again, a real threat, and early on in the half, Gabore beats his man, stands the ball up to the far post, and again, Sanderson does really well. This time, he's just managed to get ball side of Moore at the far post, about 6 yards out. Moore has to stretch across Sanderson to try and get a volley in on goal, and Sanderson, because he's kept tight to him, is able to get the block in. They both paid a consequence for this because their shins then collide and they both go down hurt, but able to continue. But yeah, it's a proper scrap between those two. In the 50th minute comes a big moment, because Gabore gets it on the right. He has a space to run into between Forsyth and Adams, and he bursts through it tremendously well. He's now got about 40 yards out from goal, clear space to carry it towards the edge of the area, and players are ahead of him. And Adams pulls an arm out and pulls him to the floor. It's a yellow card, but Adams has been booked already for that foul on Dobson. The referee just gives the free kick. I mean, it's a no-brainer yellow card, so this is a second red that the refs failed to give. Two wrongs don't make a right, and I'm not going to try and be biased here. You know, we would have played 43 minutes with 10 men had the ref got those two decisions right, and this situation might not have happened if we'd had to play with 10 men. The game would be totally different. But having said that, yeah, I mean, it's another poor call from the ref, and I've been really impressed with the refereeing so far this season, but last Tuesday and Saturday, I must admit, have made me just revise my opinion slightly. Anyway, Wrexham go close soon afterwards with a nice patient probing move from the free kick, which ends with Longman feeding Windass in just the left pocket about 25 yards out, and he whips a great shot across the keeper. Zetterstrom gets down low to his left. It dips nastily just in front of him, which makes his save even better as he manages to get down and get strong hands on it and push it away. Could easily have just dipped under his hands. Good stop this by Zetterman. Wrexham, though, keep going and spark an insane minute of helter-skelter football, because Windass picks it up on the right as Wrexham move it around, as we circulate it. He sweeps across in to the far post. The fullback Johnston gets there first, and he tries to drill it into the crowd. He gets great contact on it, but he loses his bearings because from 6 yards out he just smashes it squarely against his own post. I mean, it would have been an unbelievable own goal. It's an unbelievable let-off. The ball flies out, and as Wrexham are stunned by that, we are done on the transition for the only real time in the match, because the ball falls for Forsyth, and he does really well to drive down the middle of the pitch, and Wrexham are open for once. He feeds the ball out to the left. Morris carries on down the flank, pulls the ball nicely back to the far post, about 10 yards out, incredibly, it's Johnston who's continued his run after hitting his own post and starts to have a go at the other end. And he does really well because the ball is coming at him. He's slightly off balance. If he takes a touch, he's got a defender tight on him and he's not going to be able to get a good shot off. So he decides he's going to hit it back the direction it came from first time. And it's a good effort. And that defender being close to him also unsights Okonkwo. So it's a really intelligent percentage option. And it would have been rewarded with a goal had it not been denied by a save absolutely from the top draw by Okonkwo. Because he's the whole point why you hit it back the direction it's coming from. He's getting across to his left. The ball suddenly is flying to his right. Superb save to adjust. It's coming about chest height and he lunges, uses those long arms very well and manages to get a strong hand onto it and push the ball out wide. Brilliant save. Save of the season so far? Quite possibly. But only for about another 10 seconds because Okonkwo makes an even better save instantly. Adjaman keeps the ball in, drills it into the goal mouth. Morris has followed his initial ball in and he is unmarked 7 yards out and smashes it into the roof of the net. Also, it seems that Okonkwo has managed to correct himself after the first great save, set himself and makes a brilliant tip over. I mean, this is an even better save for me because it's going like a rocket and he's about a couple of yards off his line. So it's about 4 yards to react to the ball being hit so well and he palms it over the bar. Magnificent goalkeeping from Okonkwo. And Wrexham benefit having survived that wild minute because a couple of minutes later we're ahead and it's a lovely goal. It's a really lovely goal. And it looks great on the replay, on the footage, should I say, from the Macron stand end. But I got the reverse view in the commentary, and it's a privileged view, I've got to say, because you just see to perfection the quality of it. Hyam has got just a narrow passing channel to play the ball through between two men. And he gets it to perfection. He places it to perfection. The weight is perfect, inviting Kabore to take a touch. He's still under pressure, but he's able to face goal in his own half and pop it inside to Sheaf. Sheaf plays the classic 1-2. That's why they used to call it the wall pass. First time, straight back into Kabore's path as Kabore continues down the right. Kabore takes a touch, whips a beautiful cross in. Remember I said O'Brien had made that run to the near post before? Well, this time he makes that run again and Kabore picks him out. Moore has pulled away to the far post, taken Sanderson with him, and Sanderson then sees the danger and realises that while he naturally is picking up Moore at the far post, like I said, he's denied him a couple of times brilliantly, he suddenly sees that O'Brien has run into the space Moore's vacated. He tries to get across, but he can't get there in time. And again, I'm so lucky to have that vantage point. I'm right behind the header, and the moment O'Brien meets it with that nice deft it's a flick header, you can see that's going in. Keeper's got no chance inside the far post. A brilliant goal. Wrexham are ahead. We concede 13 minutes later another magnificent goal, and here's the frustration, like I said, for Wrexham, because essentially those two goals are the last real meaningful efforts of the match. We're keeping Derby at arm's length, we're looking comfortable, we're looking decent on the break, but a great goal denies us the points. Johnson knocks it down the line. Adjaman gets up really well, heads it inside. It's just a little bit of a space between Brunt and Hyam, which Ben Berres-Diaz takes advantage of beautifully. He does so well, just gets ahead of Hyam, who has to accelerate to time and come across, and he uses the fact that Hyam's momentum is going towards the ball to just nick it in behind him, which means Hyam just can't recover now. And Berres-Diaz has bought himself a little bit of space centrally, 25 yards out. My word, does he capitalise upon it with a glorious finish. Just tore it into the top right corner with a bit of shape. Okonkwo, in this form, can't reach it. That's how good a shot it is. Unstoppable. And Derby are level. And the closing stages are mostly Wrexham pushing for the win, but we can't really break Derby down. We make changes. It has been a bruising match. There are changes made, I think, partly to protect players who are coming back from injury or are building up their match sharpness, but also because a few players have taken knocks. Matty James comes on for Ben Sheaf. Nathan Broadhead comes on for Josh Windass, who has had treatment, and Kabore has just had treatment. He's taken a few heavy whacks, and I mean, promisingly, he does look like he wants to come back on, but Phil Parkes, I think, sensibly takes it out of his hands, throws Ryan Barnett on. And those alterations, keep the game ticking along. They all do well. Broadhead, particularly eye-catching. He did so well, didn't he, on Tuesday? He looks really sharp. He has one great run towards the edge of the box. He hits a free kick from the edge of the area into the top part of the ball and it's deflected away. But we can't really open up the game again. In the second minute of added time, Sam Smith comes on for Kiefer Moore, who also has been injured and needs treatment. Let's hope that's not too serious. But ultimately, yeah, disappointing that Wrexham didn't finish the job off, but ultimately Derby defended gristly, and did we make enough chances to say we definitely should have won that match? Maybe not. Good performance again though, Wrexham continuing to build and that unbeaten run continuing to just grow as we settle into this division, I would argue, pretty nicely. So with the final score of Wrexham 1, Derby County 1, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.